Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Titch and you're watching Titch Vision, and today I'm going to be reviewing the disaster flick Greenland. Disaster movies have had a great run through the 70s, 80s and 90s. And as the years went on, they started getting adventurous. Natural disasters, earthquakes, volcanoes, massive tidal waves, and of course, comets. Everything kept getting bigger. But then, the 21st century came around and it got bigger, but it didn't mean better. There have been a lot of stinkers over the past 2 decades. Films like The Day After Tomorrow, 2012 and San Andreas. Yes, they were blockbusters that boasted special effects, but that can only get you so far. Without the humanity aspect of the film, it really isn't worth much. If you don't handle your characters correctly, then they'll just end up as another casualty. Heck, he's even got to the point where he started cheating and started using true life events. It worked though. Impossible and Deepwater Horizon were brilliant. And then Pompeii happened. Now in 2021 we got our recent disaster offering of Greenland. Comets are back, baby! So, will Greenland be a quality disaster flick? Or will it just be a disaster? Well, let's find out, shall we? Greenland is about a family trying to survive a planet killer comet by taking a dangerous road trip to the secure bunker in, you guessed it, Greenland. Now the setup for this film is actually really good. John, played by Gerard Butler, gets a message saying that him and his family got a place inside the secure bunker. They did the same thing in the film 2012, but here they did it so much better. Because in 2012, they thought about the money aspect. If you were rich enough, you'd get a spot. But in Greenland, it's a little bit more thought out. John is a construction worker, so if you're going to rebuild the world, you're going to need someone to make buildings. And if the world was completely destroyed anyway, what would money do? What would money do? Yeah, so all that makes complete sense. The marriage of John and his wife Alison, played by Marina Baccarin, is on the rocks. But we don't know why that is until later on in the film. Much, much later. Because when I eventually found out what it is, I completely forgot there was something up. I mean, at the beginning it was very uneasy between them, and it was really well done. But it's not long into Greenland when the family gets separated. There was a massive gap and the focus was taken away. And when we did find out what it was, the realisation wasn't that effective. So the film drops the ball a little bit there. But other than that, I think this film is very well structured. For a 2-hour film, it does keep a good pace, and there's never really a dull moment. And I'm not just talking about the action sequences, but the quieter moments as well. Because the shadow of death is always looming, in the form of massive fireballs falling from the sky. And in desperate times, there will be people taking desperate measures. The family in this film will come face to face with people who will do the unthinkable just to get to safety. Not to give too much away, but there's one couple that did something that really caught me off guard. It actually caused me quite a bit of distress. Literally, I was like, oh no, my heart! Greenland really takes its time putting things into perspective. One of the moments that stood out to me was when John, Butler's character, was on a rooftop trying to get a signal, and there was a party going on. Like they were just accepting their fate. Whilst in full view of the comet that is going to reduce the Earth's surface to rubble. It's really interesting to see how people would react in the ultimate endgame. Shots of the comet are scattered throughout the film as well. Now, most other films in this genre would be like, look at this now, this is going to kill everyone. Are you scared yet? Are you scared yet? Because you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Jesus! But it's not like that here. It's shown just the right amount. Now, speaking of Butler, it seems like the casting agent didn't pay the extra $100 for an accent. Well, Mr. Butler, we decided that we don't need you to do an accent after all. Aye, f***ing great, man. Let's get hammered. Because at the beginning, I wasn't quite sure if he was putting on an accent or not. But about 15 minutes in, it turns out he was Scottish. Now, if I'm honest, I think it's been about a decade since I've seen Butler in a decent film. But if you've seen 300, if you've seen Law Abiding Citizen, you know he can bring it. And here, he brings it. But it does take a while. But as the film goes forward and we see what John and his family go through, you can see he's a loving father and husband who is willing to do anything to keep his family safe. The standout performance for me was Marina Baccarin's Alison, the wife and mother character. She's more than just a scared wife. She is more than willing to take chances and protect her son, whilst also standing by her man, even during the rocky time in their relationship. Which again, I completely forgot about. Scott Glenn is here too, playing the angry father-in-law character, but here it's understandable. But he is also a loving grandfather, and for the short time he's on screen, he does leave a lasting impression. Greenland is full of surprises, and as I've said before, people will do the unthinkable to survive. But there were a couple of things I didn't expect to see in this film. Kindness and compassion. Even in the face of death, you'll find the best in humanity, and the feeling of sympathy for those doing their job, fully knowing they'll get nothing out of it. And it makes me wonder if this is the reality, if something like this would happen. But then again, it's a movie, so what the do I know? So, what do I think of Greenland? Well, I didn't expect to enjoy myself as much as I did. Even after many years of literal disasters to mediocre messes, there's still life in the genre. Greenland gave us the most important thing, characters that we can support, and the humanity in the situation. The film didn't rely on special effects, which were actually pretty good by the way, and everyone running for their lives from explosions. It takes its time with the family and the unthinkable situations they get themselves into. Even if the struggling relationship does take a back seat, Greenland will keep you on the edge of your seat to the credits roll. And I'm not going to ruin anything, but the ending, I'm quite satisfied with. It may not be the most imaginative ending, but it still feels like it's earned it. So if you're like me and you love disaster flicks, I highly recommend you check this one out. Because like Comets, this film will definitely leave an impact. Also, I found it really weird at the beginning of the film they were all sitting around the TV waiting for the comet to hit. And they're all really excited about it. Imagine if that was happening now. Some guy is sitting next to you saying, "Oh, I'm really excited about this giant dangerous comet coming towards us, aren't you?" And I'd be like, "No." I'd be shitting myself. Plus I wouldn't want to be the scientist that awkwardly got it wrong on where the comet would actually hit.
3, 2, 1, and impact.
No splash.
And those are my thoughts on Greenland. But what do you guys think? Have you seen the film? What's your favourite disaster flick? Comment down below and let me in the know. And that's about it for today, my friends, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I've been Titch, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Literally, I was like, oh no,
Wait, where's the explosion?
Wait, is that coming towards us? Wait, holy...